because of the size and shape of a workpiece, it might not be possible to hold it into a vise or a fixture. A lot of setups on mills, shapers, planers, and drills are made directly onto the table of the machine. This is a typical setup, a very simple one, but it'll serve to illustrate some of the proper techniques for clamping onto a table. You'll notice that our workpiece is mounted on parallels. For the sake of keeping the piece from slipping, we've used one technique that some operators use, and that's to put paper between the parallels and the table and between the work and the parallels. This prevents slipping. Our clamps are just a standard bar clamp, supported at either end by a step block or a riser block. Now let's take a look at some of the various types of clamps, T-bolts, and riser blocks. The equipment you've seen is basic equipment that's used for making setups. Clamps come in all different sizes and shapes. This is an offset style clamp. Also an offset clamp that's a little bit shorter. A little short bar clamp. This is called a U-clamp. Each particular setup calls for a different type of clamp. Some work better in some situations than in others. The bolts that are used are either standard T-bolts, which consist of the T-bolt itself and a washer and a nut, or this type of T-bolt arrangement that uses a T-nut with different length studs as well as the nut and the washer. Now risers can be of many different types. The type that you see right here is an adjustable step block. This block can be adjusted up in very fine increments. Here's a larger one that can show you how this works. It moves up in about 1/16 increments. It can also be turned over on its end for building up a higher distance. It might even be a solid type step block that's easily made. Or a riser may just be a form of some scrap pieces built up to a convenient height in conjunction with a clamp that has an adjustable a set screw adjustment in it. So the way that you support the back end of the clamp will usually depend on what you have to work with in your particular shop. Now let's take a look at the elements of a good setup. Looking back here at this setup on this table. The first thing that we look for is that the T-bolt is as close to the work as you can get it. It isn't back here, but it's up ahead towards the workpiece. Well, this will ensure that most of the clamping pressure is on the workpiece and not on the riser. So remember, always have the T-bolt as close to the workpiece as you can get it. Notice also that there's a washer underneath the nut. Never set up a job without a washer. You can't get your maximum clamping pressure if the corners of the nut are digging into the top of the clamp. The third thing that makes for a good setup is that the back end of the clamp is higher than the front. This is very important. Later on, we'll show you the results of poor clamping. But the back end of the clamp is slightly higher than the front. This way, the very front corner of the clamp is bearing on the workpiece. The fourth thing that's very important is that the clamping point, which is the end of the clamp, is directly over the center of the parallel. This is extremely important. If the clamp was too far forward, we can actually distort the workpiece. These four things make up a good setup when you're using clamps. The T-bolt as close to the work as you can get it. Using a washer underneath the nut. Back end of the clamp is higher than the front or the end that's on the work. And the clamping point is directly above the parallels. Now let's take a look at some improper clamping setups. I want you to be able to identify a poor setup and know what to do to correct it. There's two things wrong here, and I think you can see them. Number one, the bolt is too far back from the workpiece. We're putting more pressure on the riser than we are on the workpiece. And second, the back end of the clamp is way too low. You'll notice what happens up here at the front. All we're doing is putting pressure on the corner of this piece. If the piece was to slip in this direction, it would come right out from underneath that clamp. This is a common mistake that's made by mill operators who are just starting out. Let's set up another situation and illustrate what would happen with it. This time, we're going to move the clamp in beyond the parallel. And I want you to see how easily you can distort a workpiece. The best way you can see this is just with a dial indicator. Let's mount an indicator on here. You'll notice that we're clamping about an inch beyond the inside edge of the parallel. This is a pretty heavy plate. You wouldn't think it would distort very much. But look what happens when we put a clamp on it. You notice what's happening? We're actually bowing the plate down. You have to clamp directly over your supporting member, whether it's a parallel or a boss or a pad on the workpiece. You must clamp over a solid portion. Now, the third bad setup, and these are actually setups that you see men doing that can be very, very dangerous. Is where your parallel is setting in from the end of the workpiece, and you're clamping back at the end of the workpiece. Here again, we don't have any solid support underneath the work. And the result again is going to be distortion. Now look what happens when we clamp down. This time, the plate is bowing up in the middle. If you have trouble localizing your clamping pressure, that is, if your clamps are rounded at the end, or for some reason you can't localize the pressure directly over the parallel, then just take a little block like this, put it directly above the parallel, and then set the clamp onto that. This is a good way to actually localize and concentrate your clamping pressure with no distortion to speak of. Although these principles that you've just seen are basic, they'll apply in any situation regardless of how detailed or specific when you're clamping work onto the table of the machine.